So I think I just want to start off with talking about how this project came into being. I mean, it was based on Ryan McHenry's short film. Ryan McHenry is probably best known to most of the internet as the guy who created Ryan Gosling Won't Eat His Cereal, and sadly passed away too young from cancer. And I want to just say, like, I want to find out how you both came into the feature film project, which is based off of his Zombie Christmas short.
Nathan Alacaru, who's our lead producer, him and Ryan grew up together in a little town called Dumfries in Galloway. They've been best friends since they were like 16 years of age. And they made the short film together, and when Ryan was passing, he asked him, the worst case scenario, do you want us to carry on and make this film? And they've been working on it for years together, and Roddy and Tommy and Alan McDonald, our co-writer, and it was, it was a passion project. Everybody just loved it and just wanted to be part of it, and Ryan said he did. He wanted it to carry on because it was we always talk about our film because it's our film. We all worked on this and we all worked. There's no one person that made this film. The whole thing was a collaboration. With the cast, with the crew, with everybody, and they saw my romantic comedy set in a care home at Glasgow Film Festival, and it's a film that's it's really quite sweet and it's just full of heart and character. And they'd been looking at horror directors and musical directors, and they just hadn't found that right fit. I had a really great reaction at Glasgow Film Festival, and they invited me to come along and pitch for it, and I was really lucky to get the job.
And Chris, how did you?
Only 6 months before production, which was much longer after that had all happened. So I had no connection to that whatsoever. But very thankful for that man because he came up with the fucking best idea.
I mean, it's kind of hard not to want to come see a zombie Christmas Scottish musical.
Totally. And Ryan's idea behind it was he was watching High School the Musical, and he was like, "Oh, see if Zac Efron get hit by zombies right now, that would be brilliant." And that was Ryan's humour. He was a prankster. He was a total prankster.
Well, I appreciate the movie because it's a great musical. It's a great zombie film, and it's also a great teen coming of age story, and it's also a great in sort of the great tradition of a Christmas movie that's not really a Christmas movie, but also has a lot of the Christmas spirit in it. So my personal favorite is I Come in Peace with Dolph Lundgren, but but there's Gremlins and Die Hard, and so I feel like this fits in that. So, there's so many genre boxes it ticks off.
Thank you.
What was did you watch a lot of these films previously, or any other sort of horror musicals, even though I can't really think of that many?
Takeshi Miike's Happiness of the Kakatauris. Have you ever seen that? Here we are. See, we get it. I grew up watching Gremlins and Die Hard and Scrooged. Those kind of anti-Christmas movies and my mother loves Christmas. She just loves it, and it's she starts buying things in July. She starts booking Christmas dinner in August. She puts decorations and starts singing songs in October. And honestly, this was my release. I was yes, I get to kill Santa Claus. I get to set fire to Christmas trees. I get to lop off Frosty's head. Brilliant.
My mom also loves Christmas to that extent, so I feel your pain. So
totally, yeah. She used to when she'd drop us off at school in October. She'd have I'm talking about you're going to high school and she's got the windows wound down in the freezing cold with the Christmas songs blaring and pull up beside you going, "Have a lovely day," and you're like, "Shh, don't! I'm going to get my head kicked in."
So I want to talk about the casting process here, and I think Chris, you have sort of a unique view on this because it's kind of hard to find people that can be sing, dance, and also be realistic getting chomped by zombies. What was that process like for you as someone who has music and dance as the background?
Talent. We had a couple of days audition process where we went to this house in South London and they did singing with us. They tried out our voices doing different keys and octaves of the music. And that was as much as I knew. So John knew what was going on really behind closed doors, so he can probably describe that casting process better than me.
I mean, we were looking for like these. We didn't want like Disney kids. You know, we didn't want that. You know, we wanted to be able to have like real voices. We wanted these kids to be able to sing, and we wanted them to all have different voices, so that they were all different in their own individual way. And you know, we found pretty much everybody at that casting process, apart from Malcolm, who plays John. I think we found him like 2 weeks before we started like proper production, which was in November. And we got the guys in, you know, and we'd all come down, you know, our composers, Tommy Riley and Roddy Hart, who have never done a musical before. They've never scored a film before. They come down and they had the guitar and the piano out, and they would get the guys to sing. And then we cast, and we brought everybody up to Glasgow, and we recorded all the songs in the July.
No, I did it in December.
Did you do it in December?
Yeah.
Was Tommy or Roddy singing your bit?
Oh yeah, always.
Tommy would sing all the girl parts because he's got a really high voice, and Roddy was like, "No, I'm doing the boys. I'll do the boys bits."
And what was that collaboration like? I mean, you said they've never done a musical before. Was there a lot of collaboration between the composers and the actors? And you know, how much was there any improvisation?
I mean, like there was you know the guys. They're really really keen to work with folk. And when I started, there was 6 songs, and I think only 4 of them stayed the same. There was a couple of them that were all different. And in fact, of course, I'd come into the project, and all these guys had known each other. You know, been working together for years and working towards this. So I'd set up something called Friday Music Club, and every Friday afternoon we would sit down and we would sit in the studio, and we'd just talk about our influences and inspirations. We'd talk about each musical number, you know, and you know, the scene that it was involved in, because we never wanted to go, oh, it's been 15 minutes, we better get a song in there. You know, everything had to be an extension of the character, and it had to drive the story.
Sure. And I also now want to open it up to the audience, because I'm sure you guys have questions. So I'm going to call on you, and then I'll repeat the question into the microphone so everyone can hear. So in the back there, yes. Oh, we have microphones. Oh, great. I don't have to do that then. Sorry, I picked the person furthest from you.
Sorry. Just wanted to say it was a great movie, very entertaining. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's very, very kind of you.
And I always ask the filmmakers when they come here, what is your favorite scary movie?
Favorite scary movie? Like, my favorite horror movie is a French movie called Inside. And it's like, you guys, if you've seen it, it's like a freight train. It just, when it starts, it's like, oh my God. And you're like, oh, it can't get any worse than that. Oh, it did. Oh, and it has. And then it ends, and you're like, oh, I need to go for a shower. Like, oh. So I would say Inside.
The Sound of Music. Rewind it, and then it becomes really scary.
All right, next question. Yes.
Hi. I have kind of a 2-part question about the villains of the film. Firstly, the headmaster. Is there any particular animosity towards academia that you hold? And secondly, the zombies. What made you decide to make them sort of the George A. Romero shuffling horde, as opposed to super fast like 28 Days Later, or super intelligent like Dead Snow?
So with the zombies was, you know, we couldn't really have them like running fast, you know, even with the pacing of the film and things like that, you know, and like I like the slow ones myself personally, you know, and it was just it fitted with what we were trying to do. And you know, if you get singing and dancing going on, and there's like, you know, like the ferociousness of those, like that kind of pace, you know, that kind of pace of movie, you know, that fits, you know, perfectly with 28 Days Later. You know, like the whole film is just like 100 miles an hour, and everything is 100 miles an hour. Whereas, you know, we're always trying to, you know, take our time throughout each of these sections and things. And the zombies are like, you know, like with the George A. Romero stuff, it's always like, you know, it's like the mass consumerism, the, you know, humanity is sheep. You know, we all fall into those kind of categories and things. But with our zombies, we were they're like the themes of the film are kids dealing with death. You know, like when you become a teenager, all of a sudden, like death comes into all your life. You know, your grandparents start to pass away, people's parents start to pass away, friends start to pass away, and all of a sudden, you know, even seen it on the news, seen it in films. It's something you start to become really, really aware of. You know, when you hit that adolescent age. And that's what the zombies are kind of represent, is to come, you know, this death that's now coming into these kids' lives. You know, academia. I'm a writer and I failed English twice. You know, hey, it's because I'm dyslexic and nobody could tell me. You know, like Paul Kaye's, you know, I love him. I think he's absolutely fabulous in the film. I think he's brilliant. He's like my Willy Wonka meets the Joker, like, you know, like dancing about like a madman. You know, of course, we wanted to have a villain in the film, and you know, this sort of like guy who's, you know, always wanted this control, and it's on the cusp. He's on the cusp of getting it, and it's just sort of like sending him over the edge. You know, we get free education in Scotland, so like I'm like, yay! I don't really hate that much academia because I don't have to get into debt. Yay!
I mean, I just think it would have been fucking knackering if the zombies had walked any faster than they did. So just for our sake.
All right, then we had one right here. Here, there's one coming to your right.
So also to just reiterate what's already been said, it was a great film.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I love, you know, all genre blending kind of films like this, and it was really, you know, I laughed, I cried, I screamed, all of that. So thank you very much for that.
No, thank you.
And I just had a question because I saw in the credits that there was a test cast and crew. So does that mean that you did this like
What?
like before, like twice?
So, right, remember I told you I got the job? Well, at first I didn't, right? Like you're the first person to ever ask this as well, right? So I pitched for the job, and it was before they'd seen my short, my feature, my first feature, and I pitched for the job, and I don't know who it was. I'm not going to say any names or nothing, but like they'd said, you know, like they didn't really think I could work with a budget or this, because my first film was like 50 grand, and this was sort of sitting at 1.3 million pounds. So there was like a fear that I wouldn't be able to handle that, and they went with this designer who'd worked on a lot of big films, and it didn't work out too well. And then they saw my film, and Nathan was like, "Oh, we made a mistake." They brought me back in. So anytime you ever don't get a job or a script or a film, just wait a wee bit. Just wait a wee bit, because sometimes they might come crawling back.
So are we ever going to get to see the bad version of the film?
I don't know if it was just I can't really judge. I didn't like it. You know, and yeah, but that's, I mean, it happens. And at the end of the day, for me, I'm really lucky. I get to come in and, you know, work with, like, you know, my two composers I adore, my producers I adored, my whole cast, my whole crew. I loved every aspect of it, and I was so lucky to be able to come on board with this. So I'll take getting rejected 3, 4, 5 times as long, you know, as I end up getting what I got. So, oh well.
Thank you.
Meet me afterwards and I'll send you the Vimeo link.
All right, I think we have time for one more question. Yeah, sure, right here. Yes.
Yeah, I love the film. It was great. One of the best zombie movies I've seen in a while. What was each of yours like favorite or most memorable scene while shooting? And also, just a question about the headmaster. Was he inspired by like an asshole Jarvis Cocker kind of character?
I mean, like Paul. Like one of the things is I wanted to do is Paul's in Game of Thrones and stuff, and you know he's quite big in the UK, and you know he's sort of one of our named actors. So when we came on board, you know I wanted him to go wild with the role, and you know when he went to school, he had this teacher he hated, and he was like he kept on telling him he's like a stick insect. You know, and that was kind of like the way he wanted to move and things. So I wanted to give him as much free reign, you know, as possible with the character. And favourite scene-wise, my 2 favourite scenes in the film are, I mean, there's like the bowling alley sequence, which I love, and like I absolutely adored shooting that. I get a day to do it, but yeah. But I love my snow angel scene with the two of them, and the shopping trolley scene, because I'm a big fan of John Hughes movies, and you know, one of the things is I was always wanting to come back to this is because it's a zombie musical set at Christmas. It's kind of like daft, but they're kids, and it's supposed to be that. And you know, as I say, those themes of the film are kids dealing with death. So I wanted to remember all the time that they're just kids at the end of the day. And you know, I love the two of them together. I think they're just wonderful, and you know, their growth together. And that scene, you know, where she sort of says, you know, like, you know, we're best pals, you know, and the rejection, but then they don't dwell on it. You know, they're friends, and that's it. They're best pals, and you can see that in both of those scenes.
Hollywood ending, because I get to dance on tables. That's it.
All right. So let's everybody come join us for beer and
Christmas.
Yes, Christmas in the Furman Gallery across the hall.
If you want to ask any questions at any point this evening, if you see me at any point, you want to come up, you want to talk about anything, please don't hesitate to come up and have a chat, okay?
Thank you for coming. Thank Rufus.
Thanks, Rufus.
Thank you.